I sit without direction, stomach restless, wishing for a time past or perhaps a time to come, where words fall without rules, true words. How do I find the truest hidden beneath the weight of life? I'm sitting in my car in the middle of Niagara Falls after a week without a video. It hasn't been long since I made the decision to try to do a video a day. And yet this week feels like a breakthrough, even though I've produced nothing. A breakthrough because it has been a week of introspection and consideration. It has been a week of writing. There's something I haven't shared with many people, and that is, for the last year, I've been unable to write any new words of fiction. Only poetry, no fiction. Every time I sit to write fiction, the words would bounce up against each other and just make a nonsense of life. Nothing felt true, and fiction at its core isn't about making stuff up. It's about telling a truth so true that the truth isn't enough. It's about telling a truth so true that it has to be outside of reality to capture. So I made this goal for myself to do a video a day. I told myself it was so that I could improve my YouTube channel, so that I could learn how to edit video and I could take those skills to help find clients. It was truthfully a realistic goal, a goal cemented in the idea that fiction couldn't be enough, that maybe I had to give up that dream, and rather than giving up any dream, I shifted the dream. It's not my dream. There are a lot of people on YouTube that have the goal to someday be a full-time YouTuber or have it be a viable stream of income. I've been on YouTube for 10 years, and in that time, I've watched it change over and over again, and with each change, my love affair has dimmed. And so in this last year, while I was removing social media, I removed it all, except the YouTube and the Instagram. I kept the Instagram because it supported the YouTube, and because I knew that I wanted to share photos as I travel. I kept YouTube because it seemed realistic. I'd been on it too long. It was a platform, and I had to keep a platform for in case someday I ever were to finish my novel. And, it's a stream of income. And this last week, I've realized it's a stream of income I don't necessarily want. Not because money isn't nice, because it is, but rather because of all the stuff that goes with it. There have been a lot of problems with the algorithms. There's been a lot of frustration about the AdSense. There's been so much frustration on that side of it. Creators, for the most part, haven't paid attention to a much more important frustration. All those things, while true and while important to many people, are not the source of my dissatisfaction. My dissatisfaction has been the loss of community, the loss of conversations, the loss of kindness. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. No words have been said that were less true. Words are what make us human. Words connect us, words affect our feelings, words dig deep into our psyche. There's a reason why we think in words. There's a reason why the words of our parents and of our teachers haunt us. I no longer feel that YouTube is my home, and as I have grown older, my need for privacy has grown larger. The idea of being recognized in public fills my soul with horror. The idea of getting big enough that my life will be at the mercy of others fills me with horror. But more importantly, it interferes with my writing. One thing that I've learned is that most people that live in vans, they do not live in their van. They sleep in their van, they eat in their van, they go outside their van to live. I do not. I am a writer. Even when I'm not writing, I'm a writer. I live in my van. I read in my van. I dissect my rough draft of past in my van. I write poetry in my van. I sit at my typewriter in my van. I open up my laptop in my van. And on good days, when I have days of writing, stopping to go do something interesting, to have something to record, it's the last thing I want on my mind. And so this last week, I've written. For the last year, I hadn't created any new fiction words, largely because I had a short story that meant a lot to me, and I was given some advice, and I realized I couldn't do that advice, and I got frustrated, and I started to question myself. I questioned my writing. I questioned maybe past was the best thing I would ever write. And this week, I took that rough draft of that short story, and I deleted it. And I opened up a new page, and I started over. And after a couple hours, the words began to flow, and they flowed so beautifully. And I fell back in love with my writing. I've said from the beginning that I live in my van in order to focus on writing. I don't want to produce videos that don't mean anything to me. I want to produce videos when I feel so filled with passion that I have to. And so I've given up. I have given up, and I have embraced writing again. And so I want to tell you about some things, some changes I made in the last 3 days. The first, if you are a patron, is I have put my Patreon on hiatus. Again, the stress of wondering how I could produce value and feeling as if I wasn't producing value was causing me to not write. Next thing I did was I went through my YouTube, and I remembered all the hours and all the days I've wasted on the platform because the algorithms take away your choice. They get in your subconscious and they port you from video to video, from idea to idea, until you don't know where your hours have gone. And I deleted hundreds of subscriptions. I kept 19. I kept 19 subscriptions based on this criteria. Those subscriptions all have videos that I watch the minute they come up. Those subscriptions give me value. Those subscriptions do not make me want to buy anything. I didn't keep any subscriptions that made me feel bad about myself. So out went the fitness subscriptions and the try-on hauls and the vegan channels and the paleo channels. They're all gone. And I'm left with 19 subscriptions that fill me with joy and only take away a small amount of time each day. The next thing I did was I made a choice. It's a scary choice as a YouTuber because it is antithetical to everything we are taught about SEO, about building a platform, about all of it. And that decision was to remove from the lower right-hand side of my videos the words subscribe. I will no longer ask you to subscribe to my channel because if my videos mean something to you, if they add to you, you will subscribe on your own. And the other thing I decided to do was to ask you to dig deep in your soul and to tell you you don't owe me. If you haven't been watching my videos, if my videos have not been adding to your life, if they make you feel bad, if they cause you any distress, if they take away the hours unsubscribe.